Just as a refresher, F3, we've been doing this now for almost 10 years. And I think everybody here is aware of the problem we have with forage fish supplies, fish meal, fish oil, krill. About a third of all the world fisheries are focused on forage fish and krill. And they sustain an important part of commercial fisheries, the forage fishes. They also feed most of our farm fish and crustaceans, which now are supplying more than half of all the seafood that we consume around the world. And as these forage fisheries are overfished in many cases, if we don't have more technical innovations and more feed companies and farms that are looking at alternative ingredients, aquaculture is really going to run into a roadblock. And we're going to have to cut back production. We need to get these alternative ingredients in there, or we're going to have a real nutrition problem for seafood around the world. And in our last meeting, we asked many of you to brainstorm about what would occur if these forage fishes continue on the path that we've seen. And we've seen from our studies as well as other peer-reviewed type things, we're likely to see more starvation, a lot of disease problems, and we may even have people fighting over these last supplies of fish. But we've got to work on this. We've got to be concerned about where the fish are going to be going. So these are some of our contest winners from the first 3 challenges that we had. I think most of you are familiar with this. And we've done, I think, a great job on this. We're going to need to double our seafood supply by 2050. By virtually everybody's comments, we're going to have to double what we get from the ocean. We're not going to get it from wild caught, so it's all going to have to come from aquaculture. And with the problems that we've had with the Peruvian anchovy catch last year, had to close down the entire industry for part of the year. Fish oil supplies ran out, prices skyrocketed, and so this is a serious problem globally. Those of you who followed also saw the problems of fish meal in Africa as the prices there went so high, overfishing there, affecting local populations. And so this is kind of a warning system, or warning signal, if you will. We've really got to get going on this, and so we have a lot at stake. We've got to change the future. Got to save these forage fisheries. We've got to save the companies that are dependent on that, and the entire marine ecosystem that's so dependent on these forage fishes and krill. And one of the Silicon Valley venture capitalists has said, never let a crisis go to waste. Where there are great crises, there are also great opportunities. And so we think this is where we need to go. And I'm very pleased to see that we have several of our past winners who are here joining us today. When we first started the F3 about 10 years ago at a World Aquaculture meeting in Jeju in Korea, we had this idea that we really needed to incentivize the aquafeed industry to accelerate the alternatives to wild catch. And so the idea came up to do a series of sales-driven challenges. We started the F3 challenge to reward the company that sold the most fish-free feed. A Chinese company, Guangdong Evergreen, won that challenge, and we received so much positive feedback from that and continue to hear from Evergreen, that we decided to hold another contest. And there we knew that there was a major bottleneck for replacing wildcats was fish oil. And so we needed the substitutes there. We held the challenge, and we upped the stakes again. Were able to get some more money into the prize there, and were able to have a very successful contest that Verimaris won that. And so then we had a third contest centered on carnivorous fishes, and there we had a couple different or 3 different winners for the 3 different categories that we had there. And so now we're looking at attractants. We know that a lot of people are using krill in their aqua feeds, but there's concerns of overfishing krill, the price increases there, and so we're looking at that as our next challenge. Some other background for those of you who aren't really familiar with all that we've been doing. In the middle of these contests, we realized we really need to do some more in addition to holding the contest. And that to accomplish that, we needed to get more funding, we need to get more access to markets. And so during the networking that we did in these meetings, we brought together feed companies, investors, the farmers at our first meeting in January of 2017. During COVID, obviously we weren't going to be having any meetings, so we hosted a whole series of monthly webinars. And these reached over 30,000 people, which we were thrilled to have that much interest in these webinars. And so now we've been able to get back together, our third meeting here, and so we're really pleased to have all of you join us. At this meeting, we're really trying to get an idea of what the status is of where we are on these alternative ingredients, make more opportunities to network, which was so successful in our first 2 meetings, and to figure out what we need to do to future-proof our ecosystems, aquaculture as an industry, and seafood. So the schedule for this meeting, first we're going to hear from investors, then we're going to hear from the contestants in our current krill replacement challenge, who are going to showcase the ingredients that they're using to replace krill in aqua feeds. Then we're going to showcase some examples of solutions, success stories in scaling up this type of transformative activity. And so one of those people who've been doing this is Jennifer Holmgren from LanzaTech. She's done wonderful things with that company we're going to hear about. The next day, we're going to get a status on feed companies and farms, all representing major sectors of consumption of fish meal, fish oil. We hear from some NGOs on how to measure sustainability, and then we're going to hear from some retailers. On Wednesday night, we're going to have a keynote who can tell us more about how SynBio tools might assist this. As we've heard, where there's progress, there's urgency, and there's hope. So we're excited over the next couple days to hear about that progress, network, roll up our sleeves in some brainstorming sessions to outline the work that we as a group need to do. First, we're going to discuss some of the milestones that we needed to achieve success and identify the accelerators to get them there. With the expert guidance from a professor from Stanford, Bani Banerjee, who's specialized in this, looking at exponential progress and to get us to zero so our feeds and farms are future-proofed. The theme for this year's meeting is Superheroes Save the World, because every one of you is a superhero for advancing the latest innovations that can lead us to a world of better food security and a world with enhanced planetary integrity. Want to thank our sponsors here. We've been thrilled. University of Arizona, my boss, the Dean of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, is here. He's been very supportive of all that we've been doing for many years now. And we also appreciate some of the other universities that have been involved, some of the NGOs that have been so supportive for us over all this time. Another thing that you saw just as we were coming in, at the beginning of this session and at some of the other sessions, you're going to be treated to some short videos that were made with the assistance of artificial intelligence. Our artistic director, Micah Brown from AI, helped put all these together. And I think you're going to really enjoy. I've looked at all of them already and just amazed at what can be accomplished here. Just some bookkeeping things. I think probably everybody who's been to conferences, business conferences, have seen this in various versions. And I think everybody has signed off on this, on their applications. Just some other notes here about please being respectful for all the other members here. And please use the app. We've got the conference app downloaded if you haven't already. If you need any assistance, people out at the front registration desk are here to help and keep you up to date on the schedule, which will be posted on monitors all around. So before we begin our first discussion here, I want to share a quick message from a global business leader that many of you have, I'm sure will recognize, Sir Richard Branson, innovator, major entrepreneur, and so we're going to show his message.
I'm Richard Branson, and I'm excited to talk to you about an important and effective effort to sustain our seas. It's the F3, or Future of Fish Feed Initiative, and it is working to save not just ocean life, but the future of our planet for ourselves and for our children. The F3 project addresses the humblest but most vital life forms in the ocean, tiny fish and krill near the bottom of the food chain. One of their core initiatives is the F3 Challenge, an international effort designed to encourage the aquaculture feed industry to switch from wild catch to more sustainable ingredients for their products. By creating incentives and investing in feed alternatives, F3 is helping to reduce the need to overfish and ending a major threat to extinction. So far, F3's efforts have saved the lives of 2 billion fish, and that's only the beginning. As an entrepreneur and investor, I understand that change and innovation are essential for the health and vitality of any industry. Investment in F3 is an opportunity not only to avert disaster, but also to create new, effective sources of sustainable nutrition that could help feed a world of 9 billion for decades to come. Because of its centrality to life, the ocean is everyone's business. So let's get involved with F3. Let's support and create new ingredients. Let's demand more sustainability from seafood retailers. Let's create food sources that do not deplete our oceans, but allow all its richness and diversity to flourish. Together, we can create a brighter future, one not only with enhanced food security, but with a healthy, thriving ocean as well. Good food and a healthy planet are possible.
All right. So we really appreciate Sir Richard doing that for us, and he's been a big supporter of ours. So we all know how large this problem is and how it's going to affect us.